Hey everybody, welcome back to microbeerreviews.com. Tonight, beer company out of Asheville, North Carolina. This is their Massacre of Innocence IPA. ABVs are 6.5%. IBUs are 50, I believe. Yeah, 50. All their beers have these really cool artistic labels on them. There's a lot of history on that on the website. They always have these huge, just very descriptive, very well-written stories on the side of their cans about why they labeled it as such and what's behind the art. This is a limited release, bought it in a 4-pack. They're not cheap. I think this one was like $17 for the 4-pack. You want to get these fresh if you can get them. Again, these are not something that everybody on YouTube is going to be able to find, but when you get them, they're all very different. This one's I've not had, and it's kind of one of those things where this brewery did really well when it first launched, and they've actually sold off already and made their millions of dollars, but their beers are really unique. So without further ado, we're just going to get it into the glass. This is one of those scenarios where I'm not gonna talk too much. So got a lot of head on this one. So as you can see, it's pouring fairly cloudy. This is definitely a West Coast style IPA. It's got a white frothy foamy head on it for sure. It's got a very yellowish tint to it as well. Man, that's a ton of head. I don't think so this is one of those, this is what I call one of the new milky IPAs. It's it's got this, you can't see through it. Usually there's some stuff floating around, not the case on this one. The head is definitely white. Dissipating very quickly, but hanging out for a while. I did read a review on this before I bought it, actually, and it talked about how the head just kind of lingered, and it definitely is carbonated. Alright, so this is typical of these beers. The aroma's killer. It's very fruity, orange, lemon. It's got this really cool kind of background of a little bit of the malt in there, but it's very subtle. Hops are extremely fresh, Citro Mosaic, maybe Simcoe in there as well, but it's a very florally and fruity beer. Now, these beers I have struggled with in the past, mainly just because of the way it looks, but it's also something that, from a flavor standpoint, they've got a real density to them, and they're typically really, really good. So, as we always say, cheers. Let's get into the glass. It drinks just like it looks. I mean, identical to what it looks like. Yeah, it's so very fruity on the front end, but it's not complicated. It's one or two fruits, oranges, maybe grapefruit, maybe a little bit of lemon in there. There's definitely that pininess to it. You can taste the ABVs. The balance of the hops are really good, and it has that density, I'll use the same word, in the palate that just kind of lingers in your mouth. It's not sticky at all. It doesn't have that punch that a lot of the IPAs have, and this shouldn't. It's 6.5%, and the ABVs are only 60, or was it 50? 50, 60, 50. This is what I call that dirty IPA that everyone's going after right now to try to be the leader in the market. This is a good example of it. It tastes good. It's easy to drink. It definitely has some very good characteristics. The hops, as always with their beers, are extremely fresh, very well balanced. It's got a lot of good things going for it, but I rate my beers between 1 and 5. I'd give this a 3.5. I have had a lot of too many of these recently, of these what I call hazy IPAs, and to me, it's good. It's not worth the price point for me. So if I rated beer 3 or higher, I would buy it again. I would buy it again. It's not a poorly brewed beer, but at the same conversation, it's also something that I think is very middle of the road of what a lot of breweries are pushing out of their line right now at very high price points. So again, any of their beers that are new, I'm going to buy. It's just that simple. This is one of the breweries. I probably have 10 of them. Something new hits the shelf, I'm going to buy it. Even if the price point's pretty high, because I want to try it. This is a great example. So, I mean, it's very well done. It's very fresh. It's very well balanced. It's a good brewed hazy IPA. So with that being said, I would recommend you buy the Massacre of Innocence IPA from Burial. But at the same sentence, I would say I would caution you in being overzealous at times with some of these new hazy IPAs. But with that being said, please let me know if you tried it. It definitely is a good sipping beer. Leave comments on our YouTube channel. We appreciate you watching. We upload all the time. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.